The Center, a huge addition to Ark Survival Ascended, which ended up being an over-ambitious mess. During the release of the Center, there were a few setbacks, the biggest being the changed release date. We were told this was to fix the map as it just wasn't ready. But upon release, the map still isn't ready. An unfinished map plus a pay-to-play dino, all baked into the same Snail Games pie, introducing Ark Ascended, the Center, and the new pay-to-win Pyromane. The promise of a way larger center map drew the attention of the players, and when it dropped, I had to go out to explore this new behemoth of a map, just to find many flaws and overlooked things that aren't all that easy to miss. The size. The map is indeed quite larger than its ASC equivalent, but it feels much more bigger, and this is due to Wildcard and Snail Games using the deceptive practice of building behind the world's edge. This gives the map a huger-than-life feel, but when you venture towards this land in the distance, you're met by the world barrier. And this is the same for all the tall world mountains. You try to climb higher to all these elements, and you get stopped by the world's edge. I don't see Wildcard making the map bigger or pushing back the barrier to include all these assets, as the main body of the map is still unfinished, so how bad will those assets be if they did indeed extend the map again? Looking at the map, it looks like a lot of assets being dropped in quite random places to make the map look packed, but there's actually not that much to see outside the base structure of the map. The waterways that were extended are all practically unfinished, with waterfalls looking ugly and blocky. So blocky. And if you submerge beneath these, you can see how unfinished this map truly is. This water issue even extends down to the deep ocean, where the water effects start to vanish the deeper you go. Was this intentional? Let's just say it was intentional, just to give them some relief. But the more troubling thing I came across were how many mesh points I could find. They were super accessible, some were even super unmissable, like when you saw it, you knew it was there. Like, how do we have all these mesh points? Were they intended for caves and just forgotten about? How long till they're patched? Questions and more questions. The main gripe I have with the map is the fact that after pulling the release date back, the map was released still unfinished, and a lot of the unfinished aspects are very apparent. Not a good look going forward with more intricate maps coming into play later on. What happens when we have maps that need a lot more coding and developing? Will we have way more problems with them? The new dinos. The new Shastasaurus is a refreshing take on ocean behemoths, giving a player a lot of new ocean dino features. Although it is slow and gets attacked by wild dinos, it's still a nice addition with a new taming method where Wildcard didn't regress back to the normal KO or passive tame techniques. They added a little something more, which I do appreciate because this gives the game a little bit more range in terms of taming. As time goes on, we'll see people find new utilities for this dino and its special abilities. Maybe we will see more ocean warfare or easier to obtain ocean building techniques, adding more Subnautica type content to expand Ark beyond the land and skies from mid to late game stages. During the Center's release period, Snail Games and Wildcard unveiled something that was quite troublesome. At launch for ASA, we learned that mods would be cross-platform so we could play all together on the same networks across different consoles. This introduced Cursed Forge, where modders had to upload their mods in order to have them be cross-platform and accessible to the audience. And thus, premium mods were born. These premium mods softened our hearts to paying for mods straight to a system, even though we knew Snail Games would be taking their cut from the modders' work. But these mods were all non-official and couldn't be accessed on the official networks. But all as well, as the main point was to support modders on a more secure system. And if you didn't do too much research, you would have been led to believe that this new system was the only way to have mods as cross-platform. But shortly after, we then saw additions of the Oasisaur, which was a DLC dino, yet it wasn't issued through Cursed Forge, but was on official networks and it was also cross-platform. This brings us to the Pyromane. While we can excuse the Oasisaur due to it being bundled in a whole cosmetics pack, but the new Pyromane is a singular creature going for $5. The pricing and time of its rollout screams,
"We made you guys comfortable buying unofficial mods. Now we can use that trust to sell our own dinos and double-cross our modders, taking away some of the revenue people would have spent with them to sell our official mod to recoup for a free map."
And again, the Pyromane was not issued through Cursed Forge and is still crossplay and on the official network. This makes you wonder, was there a way for Snail Games to allow modders to issue their mods to us through Wildcards store on the Game Store networks? Maybe through partnerships or straight up paying modders to buy their work and then releasing it under the Ark banner, with more hopes of some of these mods coming to official. But in true Snail Games fashion, they want a slice of the pie without having to do any work to obtain it, and I believe that may be the reason they issued creator mods through a third party. So the Pyromane, it's one from a collection of the new fantastic beasts, which begs the question, when it was advertised and when you look at the purchase pages, it's advertised simply as the Pyromane. This doesn't give any indication of whether this purchase encompasses the whole collection or if each individual new dino will be at their own unique price. But this does give people a choice. If you don't want all of the new dinos, you can choose your favorite, and in the future, I do believe we'll see a bundle deal for all of them once the collection is complete. The new abilities of the Pyromane are questionable in some respect. Its ability to transform from a shoulder pet to a mounted tame seamlessly can cause for some upsetting PvP moments. Fighting against a flamethrower and a shotgun at the same time won't be fun during foot PvP. Let's all not forget the rat holes that people may be able to access with these guys due to their fire resistance. In PvP, this can really put a distance between people who have this dino and those who don't. In PvE, the new cryopod system makes caves a trickier situation, giving us less dinos we can use to get into them, but with this Pyromane, you can enter all the caves with both a shoulder flamethrower and a shotgun in hand. Then when faced with large mobs, you can transform seamlessly into a rideable Lyon that shreds with burning effects, while people who can't afford or aren't in support of the dino have to suffer the new podding system mechanics. These Pyromane are also pretty powerful, which means they can do the current bosses very easily with some very low stat pools, while all the free vanilla dinos would need higher stats to compete. And with things like the Alpha Dragon being an annoying boss, with the Pyromane you can easily breed a great set that will take it out with ease due to their fire resistance and they don't take flame damage. But for the people who haven't bought the dino, you get it dangled in your face but you can't interact with it. Players are complaining that it's just a spawn taker, that they can't interact with it, can't kill it to clear it, and always get a pop-up saying you have to go pay for it before you can interact with the dino. I know, we're all a little bit mad about this, but this is exactly what pay to win is. My biggest problem is PvP having to deal with this with the already stressful environment of PvP. That's crazy. I do believe dinos like this should have been kept to their own pay-to-play map, which could have been sold for a higher price in a similar fashion as Genesis 1 and 2. Releasing a fresh Ark map never seen before with new fantastic beasts that would have also never been seen before would spark curiosity, spark desire to buy, and it wouldn't need to be dangled in front of our eyes in vanilla maps, and this would make people want to buy the new map because everything in it would be new, meaning Wildcard and Snail Games could raise the price and wouldn't get that much of a backlash. Plus, we must understand one thing. This is the third map we've been given in ASA, so as the maps come out, what will Wildcard and Snail Games have to do to keep outclassing base game free dinos to make these pay-to-play dinos more sellable? So yeah, we know games need to make money to survive, but Snail Game uses the profit Ark makes to do everything but upkeep Ark, and the money being spent elsewhere is very visible with the state ASA has been since its release. Even with this IP being their biggest moneymaker, we continue to see cutbacks to the driving force of the team. So what exactly do you guys think about all of this? What way would you have liked to see the new Pyromane released? I feel like the problem isn't directly with the new paid dino, but with the continued shady behavior of Snail Games and Wildcard. We love the IP and I don't think the core players will leave, but this is a thing that may discourage new players when they see all the negativity and have bad experiences. This may push them away before they get to the never leaving stages of their Ark journeys. But hey, if you've made it this far, thank you, and if you would like the Pyromane, but you can't afford it or don't want to spend your own money on it, I got you. Subscribe and in the comments say, the Pyromane poops fire, and you'll be entered into a draw to win a Pyromane. I'll be giving away 2 Pyromane codes as a thank you to all the new support I've gotten on the channel, because we've been growing quite rapidly and I do appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and share the video, but don't tell anyone about the giveaway. This is for the real ones who stick this far in. Pause. But until next time, I'll see you guys then. you know that this is my time. Buffy